There was another black cat between the Chinese and Americans, this time over logistics. America said that China will use its influence in global supply chains to strengthen its political and military power. This report is presented to the president every year by a member of his administration, the head of national intelligence. United States spies sincerely fear that China is already using its dominance in the supply chain to force foreign companies and countries to transfer technology and intellectual property to it. And the Americans sincerely, in all seriousness, believe that China will take over Taiwan. And this would allegedly make China an absolute monopolist in the market of semiconductor chips. Now, Taiwan is considered to be the world's leader in production of such chips. China called the report slander and said that the Americans, as always, confuse black with white. No matter how much the Americans try to exaggerate the Chinese threat, one thing is clear: China already dominates many technology sectors. These include semiconductors, batteries, solar panels, as well as pharmaceuticals and even rare earth metal mining. Soon, China will be leading in other areas as well. For example, in the production of ballistic missiles or space technology. It is China that has the largest deposits of rare earth metals. Only the Bayan-Obo deposit on the border with Mongolia yields half of the world's production. Moreover, the entire American industry critically depends on Chinese raw materials. Even the production of combat aircraft, the resources of Bayan-Obo are estimated at 120 million tons. And this is the only mine on the planet that simultaneously contains 17 rare earth elements. Bayan-Obo is not only a unique natural object, but also a symbol of China's technological superiority. Already 99% of all metals are extracted from the mine door. For this purpose, Beijing scientists have developed the so-called sulfuric acid smelting, which is cheaper and simpler than all other similar technologies used in the world, and also more environmentally friendly. The Chinese are thinking about the new Bayan-Obo exploration and new scientific research, and also about creating a single national trade platform for rare earth metals. After all, China's rare earth metals are also the key to the Green Revolution, which is now the dream of all world leaders. Only Xi Jinping can do instead of dreaming. Bayan-Obo metals can be used to make solar panels, turbines for wind turbines, and batteries for electric cars. Most Western countries are forced to buy all this from China. Meanwhile, the pandemic has already shown the world the importance of supply chains. Before finished products reach the market, all of their components come from multiple sources around the world through various countries for pre-assembly and final assembly. And during a pandemic, the failure of a single factory in China or elsewhere can shut down large industrial plants across the planet. The Americans are already behind China in the production of even 28 nanometer chip. Americans are trying hard to defend themselves against Chinese dominance. It's not going well. Back in August 2022, Joe Biden signed the so-called chip law. It was dictated by the fact that the United States intensified competition with China in the semiconductor industry, and following the adoption of the law, the Americans cunningly imposed sanctions against China. It allegedly appropriates other people's intellectual property in the chip industry. Initially, the export bans were aimed primarily at the most advanced technologies. But after Japan and the Netherlands decided to join the sanctions, key EUV scanners used in mature technologies will be included in the scope of the restrictions. These developments, combined with the chip law, mean that the development of the Chinese semiconductor industry will be significantly restricted, regardless of the degree of maturity of the process technology. There's been a recent trend to shift chip production orders to Taiwan due to the need to minimize risk. Second and third tier companies such as VEES and PSMC, which are mainly focused on mature technology processes, have benefited greatly. The change in order structure will undoubtedly provide a significant recovery for semiconductor manufacturers, which are currently suffering from excess inventory and low capacity utilization. The Biden administration, however, did not even try to engage in a dialogue with China to end the technology war. Instead, the Americans continued to berate Chinese chip makers, apparently forgetting whose metal American chips are made of. It is understandable that Washington wants to surpass Beijing in the production of ultra-modern semiconductors measuring 16 nanometers or less, foreign policy rights. It's the most advanced technology available today that defines the country's engineering sovereignty. These are the semiconductors needed to create artificial intelligence and supercomputers. Medium-grade chips are needed to create everyday products such as cars, laptops, game consoles, and tablets, and China is on its way to producing more and more of these chips. Take the 28-nanometer chip, for example. China Semiconductor Manufacturing International Corporation is already building new chip factories in Shanghai, Beijing, Tianjin, and Shenzhen. United States Secretary of Commerce Gina Raimondo recently said that China is clearly trying to gain access to United States technology for use in its armed forces. In a United States intelligence report, China's trade conflict with the United States is defined as a major economic battleground, and the Americans promise to achieve high-level technological independence by eliminating bottlenecks and conquering key technologies. However, that the same thing was discussed at a session of the National People's Congress, where Xi Jinping was approved for another 5-year term. That is, the United States, in any case, remains in the role of only catching up in the race for the leader. Thank you for watching this video to the end. Subscribe to the channel and write your opinion in the comments.